Hey good people, this is Ahmed Minawa from MinawaTube, and I am really sorry I haven't been posting videos lately. For the past month I was really busy. I had a lot of things to do, so I couldn't post regularly. But I am back. I am gonna post videos every Friday as usual, and soon I'm gonna start the traveling again, the travel videos. I'm gonna show you some new places here in Thailand, and today I'm gonna talk to you about how to stay in Thailand for long term, or how to move to Thailand. A lot of people watching movies, like somebody is like, oh, I am really tired of life and I want to just go somewhere, some deserted island and in Thailand, and just live there for the rest of my life. And they make it seem like you just get a plane ticket and get on a plane and then you're here in Thailand and life goes on. It's not that easy. You can't just stay here in Thailand indefinitely, like as long as you want. You have to have the proper documents, and for you to get the proper documents you have to go through a painful procedure so you can get a proper document so you can stay here for long term. You can't easily get a visa that will keep you here for a very long time without it being renewed at least every year. So yeah, let's start with the options. What are the options? So let's talk about the multiple types of visas that you can get here in Thailand and stay here for a long term, or even move in and stay here like for the rest of your life. So you have some options and you can choose the best option that suits you and suits what you need to do here in Thailand. So we can start first with the easiest one of all. It's the educational visa, or the non-immigrant visa type ED. So if you want to study here in Thailand and you want to maybe do a university degree, or you want to learn the language, that's the visa that you have to get. That enables you to stay here for a long term, depending on what are you going to do. If you're gonna get a university degree, you can get from 2 to 3 years or more depending on your degree. But if you're only coming here to Thailand to learn the language, it can be less than a year depending on how long you want to study to learn the language. So most of the people who come here on an educational visa and want to learn the language, they usually go for the option of 1 year visa, to stay here for 1 year, learn the language, learn about the culture and everything. And the good thing about it, you can extend it. But something that you have to keep in mind, you can't just get this visa and ignore the classes. You won't get any extension or anything like that. So you need to attend a minimum number of classes or minimum number of hours in class to get the visa and continue with the visa. You cannot just say, okay, I'm gonna start a degree, and let's say you want to study business and you never go to class and you're just having fun in Thailand. They won't extend for you the visa, because usually you need to renew it every year. So yeah, that is option number one. Is the easiest one and it's useful. At least you learn something new. The second option, which is actually considered the hardest, it is the investor visa. It is tricky to get. It's not very easy for you to get. It's also known as the non-immigrant visa type I or B. So it is a little bit tricky to get, because you need to have a certain amount of capital before they even give you the visa. So if you want to invest here in Thailand, which is a good idea, you can invest in Thailand and make a lot of money, but it's really competitive. I have a video talking about starting a business in Thailand. You will find it in the description below. But generally, like, you can actually start a business here in Thailand. Usually they will want you to have at least between 5 to 10 million baht in your bank account to invest in Thailand, and that's around $165,000 to around $320,000 in your bank account. So that's a lot of money. You need to show them that you have that money, and you need to prove it, and then I'll give you the visa and they will allow you to come here. They like investors here in Thailand. Of course they like investors. It's good for their economy. You will give more jobs for the Thai people. That's really great. But be very careful. Don't think that investing means that as long as you put money into the economy, then you get the visa and you can stay here indefinitely. No, as long as you meet the requirements, every year whenever you're renewing your visa, they would extend it for you. If you don't meet the requirements, they won't extend the visa for you. And another thing, you can't just go and invest and buy an apartment or a condo and rent it out and say, oh, I'm an investor in Thailand. They will never give you the visa. That is your own property. They don't really care about that. You're not doing much for their people. You're just doing, yeah, something good for the economy, but you're not doing much for their people. So just be very smart. If you really want to invest here in Thailand, you really have to have a very good plan, a very good business plan, business model, understand exactly what you're gonna do, understand the market very well. That will mean multiple times coming to Thailand and studying the market. So yeah, that's option number 2, investment in Thailand. There's a lot of people who did it. I met a number of people who managed to invest here in Thailand, and they're making a lot of money and they're enjoying their life at the same time. Yeah, that's option number 2. Option number 3, which is actually the most obvious option, is like getting a job in Thailand. Getting a job in Thailand is not as easy as you might think. Yes, the economy is booming, there's a lot of companies, international, local companies, a lot of them are employing, but always they're gonna try to employ Thai people first. That's the government's law here in Thailand. They always put Thai people first, no matter if you're better than them, if you came from Harvard or Oxford, they don't really care. Always it's first Thai people, then after the foreigner. That's especially for local companies, but international companies, they kind of bend the rules a little bit to their favor. So if they see that you're better than a Thai local person here in Thailand, they would like give you the job. It's not hard for them to do that. Yeah, so getting a job in Thailand, you need to apply, and it's best if you're here. Maybe you're here on tourism and then you decide you want to work in Thailand, so you can just start applying and meet people here, and then when you decide, you get out of the country and you get your non-B visa, which is the visa that you get when you're working here in Thailand, and get all your documents and come back to Thailand, and then you live as long as your contract is still alive. So another thing which is very important here, you can work as a teacher. That is maybe the easiest job you can get in Thailand if you're from a native English speaking country. That's probably the easiest. I made a video about teaching in Thailand, and you would know all the information about that if you're a good teacher and you want to teach in Thailand, especially if you're a native English speaker. But if you're not a native English speaker, you still have an opportunity to teach in Thailand if you have those degrees and those certificates that show that you can teach English. So yeah, and that is option number 3, getting a job here in Thailand. Option number 4, this is the elite visa. So it's called the Thai elite card and non-immigrant visa type O. It is really a visa that is not really well known because it's kind of new compared to the others, but from the name you'll understand that it's special. So it's not for everyone. This is for people who are really rich and they want to be able to come to Thailand and stay in Thailand as long as they want and not think about the visas or all those documents and whatever. So the Thai elite visa, you have to pay money. Like like straightforward, you pay money for a visa which is between 5 to 10 years, and that's usually in hundreds of thousands depending on how long you want to stay in the country, and be up to 800,000 baht. So it's very expensive, and but it buys you time. It buys you 5 to 10 years, and you can go in and come out whenever you want, and you can stay in the country and nobody's gonna bother you. So technically you're like a citizen for 5 to 10 years. You don't have of course the same rights as a Thai no matter what, but you are free to move in the country and stay as long as you want, as long as you don't exceed the time that you paid for. So that's option number 4. Option number 5, and the marriage visa. This is the second most popular visa after the job visa. When you have a job in Thailand, the non-B visa. It's also known as the non-immigrant visa type O. This visa, as it's named, marriage visa, is if you're married to a Thai. A lot of expats get married to Thai very fast. When they come here, they fall in love with the country, they fall in love with the culture, and they want to get married to a Thai person. So that's called the marriage visa. You have to prove, of course, that you have a good income, that you can take care of yourself and you can take care of your new Thai family without any problems, which is not very important the first year when you get married, but the second year you'll have to, because every year you have to renew it. So you'll always have to show proof that you're making enough money. The good thing about this visa, you can work at the same time. You can just get a job and here in Thailand and work, and that will of course also be as a proof that you're making money and you can support your Thai family. So this visa is very popular, especially among the let's say the people who are like 35 years plus. They usually get married here in Thailand and they want to settle down, but maybe the income or the money they have in their bank account is not enough, so they can also work. So it's a great option for them. So that's option number 5, marriage visa. Option number 6, and this is the retirement visa, also known as the non-immigrant visa type O or OA, depends. So yeah, this visa is for retired people. You have to be 50 years plus. You have to have proof that you can support yourself without working. You can't be working. So to get this visa, it's illegal if you work, if you have this visa and you're working, because it's retirement visa. Come on. So you have to have proof that you have enough money to take care of yourself. A lot of people come to Thailand and retire, husband and wife. They just want to come to a country where the weather is not extreme, not very cold or not very hot, and enjoy Thailand and spend the rest of their life here in Thailand. Maybe once in a while go visit their families and come back. So retirement visa is also one of the popular ones, but not as popular as the non-B visa, which is like getting a job here in Thailand, and of course the marriage visa. So these are the options. Which one are you fit for? Which one is a good fit for you? You have to do very good research, because once you start with the visa requirements, it's hectic. So you really have to know exactly what you want, or you can get a lawyer and they can sort out for you everything very fast. So you have to just prove, especially that you have enough money to take care of yourself with most of these visas, except the one of having a job. In Thailand, there you don't have to prove that you have enough money. As long as you have a contract, you're good to go. So those are the options. If you have any questions, please put in the comment down below, and I'll put a lot of links in the description. You can go and read in more details about these visas. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll be back next Friday with a new video.